The whole point of us coming from India to, to foreign countries is not just for the education per se, but I feel like the exposure that we get, I would highly recommend for any newcomers as well. Like, don't be shy of talking to new people.
If you guys want to connect, I'll connect you. Field alag hai tum log ke, but you guys can still learn. Here we are in the city of Glasgow. It's a pleasant evening and we have our friend Harsh with us. And we are so excited about this opportunity to spend this time with him. And we are going to be talking about how do you land the coveted jobs in finance in the UK? How did you end up finding the opportunity?
So there was an Indian guy who came into the store when I was working at Fraser's. He came around and I was chatting with him. And then that's when he told me, oh, he works at NatWest. And luckily enough, so the role that I applied for was in his team.
Okay.
So I got connected to the big boss there, sir, and he was okay with my CV too. He was like, okay, CV has a lot of weight to it. I know that we come from a place wherein we're all looking for sponsorships and bigger jobs as well. But then at the same time, you cannot undersell yourself.
Right.
So she negotiated his salary, even though she was worried about sponsorship. I'm like, and another one of my friends, he got hired in Morgan Stanley in Glasgow just now. He negotiated his salary as well.
And these guys are from University of Glasgow?
Yes.
And which programs are these guys from?
So they're from my program.
If you are looking to study abroad, then watch this full video and subscribe to our channel to stay updated.
Hi Harsh, how are you?
Had a long day.
Aman and Jaya, they are both students here studying electronics. I thought I'll also just make an introduction to you. He's from your university, University of Glasgow. So he was giving me the tour of University of Glasgow. So he was assigned that role and he was giving me tour of Strathclyde. हाँ नहीं बढ़िया यार मतलब classy. It is like a tourist attraction. Hop on hop off bus वहाँ रुकती है. Spent a good amount of time. We went into the museum and everything. It was a lot of fun. अच्छा, you guys are heading back?
You guys live in Hamilton? बहुत दूर से आए हो यार. दूर तो वैसे क्या 25-30 मिनट लगेंगे ट्रेन से. अच्छा बस से राइट.
आज का दिन तुम्हारा मेरा है.
अरे मत पूछो, आज तो हालत खराब हो गई यार. आज मतलब मैंने एक्सपेक्ट ही नहीं किया था कि इतना काम होगा आज बैठे बैठे. नहीं, that's fine. अरे मैं यूजुअली जल्दी फ्री हो जाता हूँ. आज पहली बार मतलब 4 महीने में ऐसा हुआ है कि आज मैं 6:30 बजे ऑफिस से निकला पहली बार, और आज के दिन ही. तो मैंने बोला यार आज तो हालत खराब हो गई.
कोई नहीं, अभी हालत ठीक कर दें तुम्हारी. थैंक्स गाइस, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर द एंटायर डे. मजा आया तुम्हारे साथ, मजे करें. I'll share information about Harsh. If you guys want to connect, I'll connect you, है ना?
Definitely man.
फील्ड अलग है तुम लोग के, but you guys can still learn, है ना?
Nice to meet you guys. I'll see you again.
We started with Strathclyde, then went to Glasgow, Caledonian, then went to University of Glasgow. Abhi just आए वापस. We've not had much time to actually look in the city, explore the city.
Right. It makes sense.
Also, it's my first time.
The first time?
To Glasgow, yes.
अच्छी जगह है.
Edinburgh, I've been a few times.
Right.
But here it's my first time. But now that it's, of course, weather is nice. तो सभी बढ़िया लगता है.
वो तो है. आज आप वैसे किस्मत अच्छी है. आज weather थोड़ा better है. Usually नहीं तो अभी आप निकलोगे इतनी हवा चलेगी, इतनी ठंड लगेगी. You'll be like यार घर बैठते हैं, इससे better है. या तो कभी बारिश होती रहेगी. And the rain here itself, it doesn't pour. It sprays.
It sprays.
Exactly, it sprays. It's like जैसे बाल कटवाने जाते हो तो spray नहीं मारता है. It feels like that, which is a bit annoying.
I think it's like you get wet and you get dry. You don't even realize.
Exactly, you don't realize. But then at the same time, you can never be too sure what to wear. I mean, the change in temperature is so drastic. In one day itself, you'll see like 12 to 15 degrees movement up and down.
That is there, and multiple times. So
exactly.
It's not like it will slowly go up or
see
slowly
what's
come
coming.
down.
Exactly, you can't see.
That is
what's
true.
coming.
But yeah, I mean, thanks for making it here. I thought,
absolutely.
you're a bit late now, so I thought you might want to rest.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm like, now that I'm out, get everything done and head to bed. That's all I need. I've been up since 5 in the morning, so I'm like.
So what were you doing at 5?
My office is in Edinburgh, right? So given the fact that the bus itself takes about 1 hour to an hour and a half, depending on traffic too, right? So I wake up at 5, start getting ready by 4:30, because if I set my alarm for 5, you know that okay, अब 5:30 तक उठूंगा, सब कर आके 6:15 हो जाएंगे, नहाते धोते. टाइम मिलता नहीं है ब्रेकफास्ट का, so वहाँ से घर से रश करके बस स्टेशन, and then bus station से सीधा ऑफिस.
But where exactly? Because we are actually going to go back to Edinburgh.
Right. आप तो वैसे आप कौन सी बस 900 से होगे?
We came by a National Express.
Okay,
but we'll most likely,
right.
because we don't have a ticket right now, so we'll most likely take a 900. I think it keeps running all night.
So that's the one I came from. So that's every 15 minutes, 900. So that's what I usually take, and it's cheap as well. It's £10 return.
£10
for a day. So you save money there as well. And my office will actually come in the between. It'll come in the middle as well when you'll be going to Edinburgh. So my office itself is in Gogarth.
That's what I was trying to ask you.
Right.
That if you want, then we'll come to your office place.
Oh, no,
and we
that's
can
fine.
meet you there.
Because the
anyways, you have
office
to go back
itself,
to Edinburgh.
exactly, because the office itself is not in Edinburgh per se, it's outside. Because that's headquarters for NatWest Group. So it's like a very huge campus. I think they have about 150 acres of land there, and they've got a lot of things there, like rivers and all that stuff. So it's good. I mean, given the fact it's a good office as well, good exposure, you get to meet a lot of new people, very experienced people, of course, like very senior level people too.
Because it's the headquarters, so of course you have everyone there.
Exactly. So it's the HQ there. I feel like that is a perk, of course. That is something good, and I like that about the office. That is why I don't mind the travel. And then honestly, I've been in Glasgow for 2 years now, and I'm like, I've gotten used to the city now.
Right.
All my friends. It feels like home.
Feels like home.
Exactly. So moving to Edinburgh is like starting all over again. I'm like, no, I've had enough. I can't do that.
But how far would it be from Edinburgh if you had to go there?
To my office?
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Then just maybe saves a little bit more time for
Exactly.
you.
I mean, see, door to door, my travel itself is about 2 hours. So that's 2 hours gone.
Then it makes sense getting up at 5.
Exactly. So that's
guys,
the thing.
Here we are in the city of Glasgow. It's a pleasant evening and we have our friend Harsh with us. And we are so excited about this opportunity to spend this time with him. And we are going to be talking about how do you land the coveted jobs in finance in the UK, because he's working for NatWest. For all the cricket fans, you would know NatWest from the sponsors of NatWest series with England. And I think that's something he's working with. We're going to learn about his journey, how he came to UK and what did he do here and how did he land this fantastic opportunity with NatWest. So thanks Harsh for taking our time, and I know you've been up since very early in the morning. But yeah, I think it's important what you're doing. A lot of students who are looking to come to the UK are feeling a bit lost.
Right.
Everyone says UK is the financial capital,
Exactly,
it's a big hub, but people are attracted to study finance here.
That's true.
But they are not getting jobs in finance, and you have. So that's the mystery we are here to solve today. We want to understand from you your journey, where you were in India, what you were doing, and how you got to UK. Where did you come? Where did you study? What did you study? And then let's go take us through that timeline.
Absolutely.
Right, so that we understand who you are.
Right.
And then have a lot of questions.
No, that's completely fine. Don't worry about it.
So then I'll make sure I get all my answers today.
No, definitely. So
tell us a bit about you.
Absolutely. So my name's Harsh, guys. I'm originally from New Delhi. I did my undergrad in Delhi University. I was there in Hindu. I did economics honors there. Did my graduation in 2021. Post that, I started working with a startup in Mumbai. So they were into commercial real estate investments. So that was something I got exposed to finance for the first time.
Which startup was that?
It's called Prop Returns. It was funded by Y Combinator.
Okay.
So it was pretty well backed, and the founders were actually very good friends of mine. He himself was from Modern Barakhamba in New Delhi, so I knew him personally, and that's how we got along.
You're also from Modern Barakhamba?
No, I was in Heritage Vasant Kunj.
Heritage Vasant.
So, but same circle, so same network of people around. So, I mean, we were fairly young at the time because I was one of the first guys he started working with. There were 3 founders, right?
Yeah.
And it was myself in New Delhi, and there was another guy in Mumbai. So it was all 5 of us who moved to Mumbai, right? Started settling there, getting used to the startup life, right? So it was pretty busy. It was pretty good because the moment when I joined those guys, right, they were only a team of about 6 people, including 3 founders. So it was, and the 3 people who were working, it was myself, then there were 2 guys in Mumbai. So by the time I left them, which was in 2023 in July, because I was meant to fly to Glasgow, right?
Right.
For my master's. And that was always on the plan as well. I had always told my friends as well, like my founders, that I'm going to move abroad. I'm going to go for my master's because that was my end goal. So they knew about all that, right? But it was good. It was a good experience. I mean, overall, I thought I got exposed to finance a bit more, get to understand the culture. You know, when you talk about working in finance, it is completely different as compared to any other sector as such, like marketing, right? You got engineering as well. But finance is extremely fast-paced. It keeps you on your toes, right? You're talking about money here and there, right? So just today itself, I never saw myself working until 6:30, even though I'm in the UK, trust me, right? I start my work at 9, I log off by 4, that's me done. But then today was a long day, so that's the thing. I mean, I think it has its own ups and downs. There are good days, there are bad days, right? I think I learned a lot back in that startup, right? So when I moved here, this was in September 23, was the first time when I came to Glasgow, right?
And which university did you?
So this was University of Glasgow. I joined my master's program there, which was MSc Investment Banking and Finance. So So initially what happened was I got accepted into King's College London as well.
Right.
But the course that I had there was banking and finance. So that
Right.
was more like retail banking.
Yeah.
But that was not something I was too keen on. I was more into investments, asset management and all that stuff. That is why I was like more inclined towards Glasgow Uni. And at the same time, so King's comes at a cost.
Yeah.
Right? It comes at a
That's
very steep
true.
cost. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, I think the fee itself at that time was about £45,000, right, for 1 year, which in itself is quite hefty. And then at the same time, when you talk about accommodation in London, you know what it's like. That's at least £2,000 a month.
And yeah, that's not a school where you can like live far away. And you need to be
Exactly.
there because a lot of
Exactly.
stuff is happening. So you need to be there for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. See, you need to be exposed to the culture at uni, right? Because
Yeah.
the whole point of us coming from India to, to foreign countries is not just for the education per se, but I feel like the exposure that we get, the different kind of people that we get to meet, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you'd be surprised to know when I moved here, right? I did interact with a lot of Indians, but at the same time, there were so many friends of mine from my class, right? Who were majorly from Europe. Like at this point, whenever I'm walking around the city, at times I feel like, oh shit, so many friends of mine have gone back home.
Yeah.
Not to India, but then to their countries in
Yeah.
Europe or maybe
Yeah.
say America or somewhere else. So I feel like that adds a lot of value, right?
Yeah.
To a person as such. At the same time, I feel like that adds a lot of value, exposure, right? Taking initiative and trying to meet new people. So when I moved here in Glasgow, right, this was September 2023, University of Glasgow, MSc Investment Banking and Finance. I mean, at that point, I felt like I was very overwhelmed because it was a completely different experience for me.
Yeah.
And given the fact that I've lived away from my family before, because my schooling itself, I was in a boarding school for 3 years.
Right.
I was in Birla Public School, Pilani. So given the fact that I have lived away from my family, but then, this is where the distance strikes because you're not talking about 1,000 kilometers, you're talking about, I don't know, 100,000 miles
Yeah.
whatsoever, right? You're talking very long distances. Like at this point, the closest I feel to my family is when I'm talking over the phone on video call. So that's the closest thing, right? And even if I were to see them, it's at least a 10-hour flight.
Yeah.
So it was very overwhelming at first. I was all alone, no friends as such. That's when you start feeling like, okay, you need to, be more outspoken, talk to new people, right? Because it's just not yourself, but other people as well. You need to start interacting, take initiatives, start getting to know people.
Yeah.
I feel like that was something that added a lot of value in me per se.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend for any newcomers as well. Like, don't be shy of talking to new people because they're foreigners, right? Trust me.
Right.
They're in the same position as us,
Yeah.
right? So they're in the same
And
position
everyone,
as us.
like when somebody, let's say from Europe comes and in
Yeah.
India and they're trying to talk to us, we are also equally excited to talk to them.
Exactly. Trust me, I mean, it's very exciting when you talk to all these people and you feel like, I know you might feel like, oh, you're not home, but at the same time, trust me, it's not just you, it's everyone around you. So everyone's trying to make a home here for
Right.
themselves. That's what it's been like, the experience altogether.
So while you were studying, did you do any part-time work?
So, guys, let's take a small pause and let me tell you that I counsel hundreds of students looking to study abroad every month. And I am here to help you guys, not just with understanding your profile, which country or university is the best one for you, but help you through the admission process. And me and my team will get you your visa on time. And if you want a one-on-one counseling session with me, please go into the description. There is a link to my Calendly and you can book a one-on-one slot with me. And let's get back to our video now.
Yes, so I mean, if the music out there was a bit low, then I would have shown you the place as well.
Yeah.
It's this retail store I was working at. This was House of Phrasal, so they're into retail. I was working there with them for a bit as well. I think I started off in August. Tenure for my university was from September to September.
Yeah.
Right, 2023 September to 2024 September. Our dissertation finished in August. We had some time on our hands, and then given the fact that I was done with my dissertation, there were no exams to do anymore as well. So that's when I started looking for more opportunities, and that's when I bumped into that opportunity there. That was quite good.
So you did work part-time, but mostly after completing your
yes,
studies.
once I completed my degree, right?
So while studying, you were not really working
No,
on part-time.
not then.
Right.
Because I mean, the thing is, like when you're at uni, right, there's so much going on. It's not just your studies, right? There's extracurricular activities, right? And we're students, man. I mean, come on, we got parties to attend as well. So there's always something happening. You need to be a part of that culture too, because you're not here to just grind your ass off. You're meant to come here, learn, do new things, experience new things, travel as well. So that was me, honestly, because so until August, I wasn't working part-time. So it was after August that I started working part-time, but that was until March when I got my job at Nat. I was working part-time until then. It was a good experience as well because back then too, you start meeting new people, right? They're working there. And most of the people who work here in retail stores, right? So they're not full-time employees. They themselves are part-time employees.
Right.
They're all students.
Right.
They're all students and they all come from the same background. So everyone's very happy to meet new people.
Yes.
And it's very, very inclusive. Everyone feels nice to be there. I worked with those guys until March. So this is like the center of Glasgow. This is Jordan Sports Square.
Yeah.
I think there's some work going on just now because
I think they're doing some maintenance.
Yeah. I mean, I remember they were restructuring the whole thing. They were breaking it down and then rebuilding it. But it's been there for quite some time, and it's been a while since I came around here. So we can walk to the right. But right. So yeah, I worked part-time until March.
Yeah.
And then during that time as well. So what my routine was like during my time when I was working part-time. So what I usually did was whenever I was working, it was usually during the day, say about 10 a.m. to about usually 5-hour shift.
Right.
Because we're on a student visa too. So there's visa restrictions too
Right.
for the number of hours you can do in a week. So that's usually 20. So that sums up to like 4 or 5 hours or 4 or 5 days. That's how it goes. So I used to do that, but on my free days, so there's actually a cafe nearby my house, right? So what I used to do is I just used to go around there. And then there was this list of jobs that I always had on my MacBook open, right? So whenever I'm going through my laptop, I always used to have all these notifications coming through. And then there's a few platforms as well that you can go. There's a few groups as well who help you land jobs if you're in finance or marketing or even engineering for that matter, right? And not just jobs per se, but then internships or graduate programs too, because they are quite common here.
Right.
They are quite common here.
Graduate programs especially, yeah.
Exactly. They're fairly common, but they're very difficult to get into.
Yes.
They're very choosy. And lately as well, so all the big companies too, what they've done is they've reduced the number of graduates they take in. I think it was this year itself. So there's a friend of mine, he works at Barclays just now. So he mentioned that a lot of graduate recruits were dropped as well.
Yeah.
The number had dropped significantly over time. So that happened.
You worked for about 6-7 months. You did part-time
Right.
at a retail store. So it's not like everything was hunky-dory and, you know.
No, trust
like,
me, it isn't.
You know,
It isn't. I'm
you
working
just-
full time now and it's still a struggle, man.
It didn't happen like magically. And
No,
it's not like
no. It's not a bed of roses.
It's not a perfect
It's not a
Bollywood
bed of
hit
roses.
story.
No.
So,
Trust me, it's not.
How did you end up finding the opportunity at NatWest?
Right. So.
And what was the process like, and how did you, clear it?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you about this. The days when I was not working, right, I used to sit at that cafe near my house, right, and I used to apply for multiple jobs. Those were times, they were really tough times, honestly, because every day you put in out like 40, 45 applications and then you get rejections over and over. That becomes very disappointing at a certain point, right? But then I feel like that keeps you motivated as well, because you know, if people are being hired, what's different with them? Why are they being hired and not you, right? So that keeps you going, right? So I kept on to that, honestly. I kept applying. And at the same time, I felt like networking was quite important too. And this is actually a very funny story. I had applied to NatWest. When the role came up, like when I applied to it, I was working at my store then. So there was an Indian guy who came into the store when I was working at Fraser's. He came around and I was chatting with him. So he was Indian. I mean, you know, when they're Indian, you just feel like home and you start talking in Hindi as well. So I was speaking to him and I asked him, how long have you been here for? And he mentioned, I've been here for like about 12, 15 years now. I'm like, oh, that's good. What'd you do? And then that's when he told me, oh, he works at NatWest.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. I just applied there. I mean, it's been a pain, honestly. Is there something you can help me out with? So that's when he mentioned, I mean, so he had a chat with me. We had a small chat for about 5-10 minutes. He understood what I did, right? And luckily enough, so the role that I applied for was in his team.
Okay.
So it was in his team because it was a fairly new team that he was just coming up with. So
Awesome.
That was really good, right? He went over my CV then and there at the store itself, and then he gave me his number.
You
and
had
then
the fast pass.
Oh, absolutely. So that was good. I mean, I got connected with the big boss there. So that was fairly good. That added a lot of value, right? Because I feel like if I've impressed the higher up, then it was fairly easy.
Absolutely.
So that happened, and he was okay with my CV too. He was like, okay, CV has a lot of weight to it, and he wanted me to come in for an interview because, of course, he doesn't want the opinion to be biased. So that is why.
Was he from your university by any chance?
No,
or like
no.
He was not like
No.
UK educated.
Right. So he's from India itself. He came here with the job itself. He was working in Poland before this. When he came around, so he had a lot of weight. He felt I had a lot of weight in my CV, and I think it was just about giving an opportunity once. So that's when he mentioned, okay, I'll help you get an interview as well. I'm like, okay, that's fine because I've already applied for the job.
Yeah.
So formally, everything was done. So that's when I hear back from NatWest, right? They're like, oh, we'd like to call you for an interview. And I was like, more than happy.
Yes.
Come on. I mean, by then, what happened was I'd already given 3 interviews. 2 of them were at Barclays and 1 of them was at Lloyd. One of the interviews at Barclays.
But that's a good thing that by now you're getting calls from all top financial institutions already.
Exactly. So that's the thing. So what happened was during my interview with NatWest as well, so I told my hiring manager as well, like I've already given 3 or 4 interviews so far, right? And I haven't had any luck. Hopefully this is the one. So that's when he goes like, let's hope so. I mean, I think all those interviews
So you were
added
open
a lot of
about
value.
that you have interviewed with,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
other
of course,
banks
of course,
and
of course.
you were awaiting decision or you had
Absolutely. No. So I was awaiting from Lloyd's,
Yeah.
right? But from Barclays, one of them, they didn't call me for an interview because my visa, I wasn't on my graduate visa then.
Right.
And as per UK laws, what happens is you're meant to have at least 2 years on your visa left. They don't have to sponsor you, but they can at least start getting
Yeah.
work out of you.
Right.
Those were reasons there as well. So I did mention it to NatWest as well because I feel like that also makes this point across to them that, okay, this guy is being approached by other banks as well.
Right.
So there is something about him.
Right.
Right. I feel like that is extremely important that you do need to put out there and you don't need to feel shy about it. I know that we come from a place wherein we're all looking for sponsorships and
Yeah.
bigger jobs as well. But then at the same time, you cannot undersell yourself.
Right.
You always need to sell yourself for what you value to be.
Right.
That was extremely important for me as well. And a lot of my friends as well who have spoken to everyone, I mean, they all were looking for sponsor jobs. One
Yeah.
of them, she got hired at Capgemini just now in London. Right, so she negotiated her salary even though she was worried about sponsorship.
Yeah.
I'm like, and another one of my friends, he got hired in Morgan Stanley in Glasgow just now. He negotiated his salary as well.
And these guys are from University of Glasgow?
Yes.
And which programs are these guys from?
So they're from my program. The one in Capgemini just now, she is investment banking and finance just as myself. And the guy in Morgan Stanley who just joined. So he started this month on first itself and he came back from India. Then he did fintech. But overall, I think it's a good exposure. It's good value as well, right? It brings a lot of weight to your CV when you're coming from such a rich institution, right?
Right.
Where there's so much to learn. Not just learn, but the exposure that it brings.
Yeah.
And the weight that it brings with itself.
So you interviewed with them.
Right.
There were multiple rounds of interviews that happened.
Yes,
post
so
that.
I had 3 rounds of interviews done, right? I had a single HR session as well,
Yeah.
wherein they ask about your visa status and stuff, right? So I had that. That was just an initial discussion here and there. And then I had a group discussion as well, right? So that was with a bunch of people as well, right? I remember it was about 11, 12 people in the group discussion.
How many Indians would have been there in that?
I think about 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah, 3 or 4, including myself.
Yeah.
So there were 3 or 4 Indians there as well. Surprisingly, one of the other Indian girls, she got hired at NatWest as well.
Yeah, okay.
So she's in another team along with me, like in the wider team, same, but in the smaller team, she's in another team with me. She's from University of St. Andrews. So overall, I mean, during the group discussion, right? So, I mean, if I were to tell you what they talk about, so I feel like after you've had that initial HR call, right, wherein they ask about your visa status and the basic stuff, right, they start deep diving into technicalities of roles, right?
Right.
So you need to be prepared on what role you've applied for. You need to know ins and outs of it. And at the same time, you should know ins and outs of the organization too, where you're going, because they would expect you to know that. And that is the least that they would expect you to know.
Absolutely. So they need to know that you understand where you are coming to work.
Absolutely.
So I agree with you. Even I'm
Absolutely.
interviewing somebody for our company, I would expect them to understand what we do.
Exactly. And then I feel like something that is very important to these people is if you are able to fit into their culture well or not. Even if you come as a fresh graduate, I mean, I had 1.5 years of experience back from India, but that's considered to be close to nil here.
Yeah.
So these people expect you to be able to fit into the culture that they have, right? They don't want people who are not able to fit into the culture, regardless of the fact if they have 10 years of experience, because that's not going to add value anyway.
So if you like this content, please subscribe to our channel and I will see you all in the next video.
So
When you are just about to give up, you guys-
Exactly.
it
So
always happens that way. I don't know why.
absolutely. So I mean, it comes to you, right?
Yeah.
Hard work pays off. So they want you to be able to fit into the company well, and they'd be happy to teach you things. The job role that I am in just now, so I work as a financial controller.
You're right.
So they're still willing to learn. I mean, and I feel as compared to them, I'm fairly young.
Yeah.
So if I stop learning just now, where am I supposed to head to?
Right.
Right. So there's always room for improvement. You should always be open to learning, right? And honestly, these guys are always willing to teach you whatever you need. All you have to do is ask.
So you